Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have James. James is a stand-up comedian from New York. So, let's see what James has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello James.
Morning, Will. How are you, sir?
Good morning, I'm very well, how are you?
So far, so good. I woke up. So
God, I just woke up now.
no, I've been up for a second. So
Cool. Okay, James, so just before we start the game, so tell me where you're from originally.
So I'm originally from East Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've lived literally all over the world. So I've lived in Germany, Poland. So a lot of quite a few states. So
Oh wow.
South Korea. So
Why is that? Because of work or?
yeah, I was in the military for 15 years. So
Oh wow. And have you ever been in London before?
I have. I'm a Spurs fan. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so tell me, I know you are a stand-up comedian. This you do for full-time job?
Well, halftime. So I also have a production company. So we put on like private shows, corporate shows. We also do birthdays, and we do regular comedy shows also.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. That's okay. And do you live alone in New York or you got a family?
No. I live by myself up here. So all my family's down south. So
Okay. Okay, cool. Right. Okay, James. So let's start the game. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Lovely box full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play some music now just for us to get in the mood before we start the game. Ready for it?
yeah.
Let's do it. I hope you like the music. Just before the next question, which country in Europe would you like to live the most, the time you spend in here?
I think out of everywhere that I went, I really liked Germany. So
Why is that?
I mean, the people were very nice, and the way like the attitude about things, it's more like, hey, you're an adult, make adult decisions. We're not gonna try and make and force our a decision on you. I mean, everybody was really, like I said, I never had any problems the whole time I was there. I mean, you could go walk the street and never, well, I can't say any problems. There was only one, but
Tell me about it.
yeah, I was riding the train. I was coming back because at that time I was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I went to a training in Kaiserslautern.
Right.
And I was going back. At the time I lived in Heidelberg, and it was about an hour and a half. And I was coming back from it, and I was just completely wore out. Like, we'd been doing training all weekend long, constantly, with a master black belt from out of France.
Right.
And I was on the train. Next thing I know, I'm out. I'm just asleep. And I woke up, and there's like 17 neo-Nazis on the train with me, staring at me.
Wow.
And I look up, and I was like, okay. And I didn't think about it. One of them said something in English, and I speak pretty good German. Like, my grandparents came over from Germany.
Right.
So, but I didn't think about it at the time. And when he asked me the question, I responded in English. Yeah. I lucked out, and the train police came by before anything happened, but that could have gone really bad. So
It's a scary moment.
yeah, because it was just me and a friend of mine, and we were like, uh-oh. So
Right. Okay, James, let's get the first question. How would you describe a perfect friendship?
perfect friendship. I mean, I think for a perfect friendship, you got to have communication. You got to have inside jokes. I mean, I have tons of jokes with my friends, so we know about all kind of embarrassing stuff between each other. So
Are your best friends like near you or they are far away?
I have a really good friend up here, but my best friend lives in Texas. So, well, one of them lives in Texas, the other one lives in DC. So,
Okay,
or
cool.
Washington DC. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right, shall I go for another one?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Okay, next question, James. Share with us a crazy story that happened to you when you were at school.
Jeez. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. So I wrestled in high school. Like Roman Greco.
Yeah.
And we went to a tournament. At the time, I was living in North Carolina. We went to a tournament in Virginia, and I don't know if you know the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
No.
No? Okay. Well, it goes underwater for about like a mile and a half.
Right.
And so you get up to it and you go underwater. And so what we did was we had one of our trainers was asleep and like leaning against the window. And, and a lot of us had like our windows down and stuff. And so we took a water bottle and like reached over and started dripping it from the top and just screamed. And we were like, oh my God, it's leaking. And she woke up and like screamed and was like yelling at our coach that, you know, we had to get out of there. And the coach was like, what are you guys doing? We got in so much trouble for that. Like after the match, we had to run because of that, because how much she took that a little too far.
That's funny. Right, let's get another question, James. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, before the next question, you mentioned about jiu-jitsu. You know, I'm originally from Brazil, and jiu-jitsu over there is quite big. Did you know that in Brazil it's very popular?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite popular. A lot of champions.
Oh yeah, the Gracies. You have them. Yeah. And of course, well, I mean, Eddie Bravo's American, but he goes down there a lot with 10th Planet. Yep.
Cool. Next question is, what does love mean to you?
Love means being able to tell someone what's wrong and not having to worry, or having the ability to tell somebody what's wrong and knowing that they will accept what you're saying.
Right. Do you believe there are different kinds of love?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the kind of love that you have for you know, a spouse, a significant other is completely different than what you have for, you know, an immediate family member, you know. And then of course, then you have like the love for a friend or a pet, so stuff like that.
Great. Let's go for another question, James. Let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
Next question.
All right.
Do it, James. What do you think people need to know about each other before they get married?
Honestly, that's not something I could speak on. I've never been married, so I don't know. I've been for 43 years now. 42, sorry. No, I think if I had to guess, I mean, I've been in some pretty serious relationships, and I would probably say like the biggest thing is you got to live together, because it doesn't matter like the little things that you've learned about somebody along the way, you know, like what kind of coffee they drink or whatever. Like when you live with someone, you learn way more, a lot quicker, and a lot more in depth. You find out like, oh, hey, this person doesn't wash their hands every time they go to the bathroom. Man, come on.
So basic stuff.
Oh yeah, like yeah, like you. That's what I'm saying. Like you got to live with somebody for a little bit so you can find out if it works between you two. Because
That's
just
true.
because you can go out to dinner doesn't mean you can have a life together.
That's true. That's so true. Absolutely. Let's get another question, James.
All
Let's
right.
do it. What kind of coffee are you drinking?
Just straight black coffee. It's a medium roast. Yeah.
Next question is, what is one thing that you can't live without?
Oh, for me, it's books. I read a lot, so I love reading, and I read all kind of different books. So that was one of the things that we did growing up is we had like our own little library at home.
Wow.
And we would just, constantly be reading books. And that was one of the things my dad really encouraged a lot. So,
which book are you reading right now?
well, right now I'm reading a book for fun. So it's not like anything serious, but right now I'm reading The Anatomy of a Vampire. So it's just a fun book about like all the different mythologies about vampires and Dracula and all that stuff.
I see.
And all the different stories that have come out about it. And that's something that always, it interests me because you can look at people like a mythology and you can find out things about the culture of the people and what like when you start talking about like vampires and stuff, like what were they afraid of? Well, most of the time vampires only came out at night. Back in the day, people didn't have all the lights we have now. So night really scared them,
It's funny because any kind of different kind of book you read, you always get out something from there. You know what I mean? You always learn something. And are you kind of pair that can read like 2 or 3 books at the same time? I mean, of course, like keep reading like different occasions.
No. I'm one of those like once I start on a book, I have to finish it.
I'm the same as well because I had an interview with someone a while ago, and this person said, "Oh, I'm just reading 3 books. So I've got one on my rucksack. I've got one like by my bed." So, oh my God, how can you do that? So yes, it depends on the mood. And just go. I'll get lost. I think I'll be a little bit lost like with these stories.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Is that's the reason I can't do that is because especially if it's a like a novel, I'll forget what happened. I'll be like, well, why are they doing this? Oh, I gotta read it again.
Yeah. I'm the same as well. Okay, James, let's get another question. Let's do it.
Okay.
Before the next question, what do you miss the most about Texas?
The food. Like, honestly, yeah. Just the food. That's the biggest thing is just the food. Because obviously, I mean, just like anywhere else you go, every region and every little area has its what it's known for.
Right.
And there's not a whole lot of like barbecue and things like that where up here. Or the ones that are here, they're very like chain restaurant. So, right. Or as I like to call them, like it's McDonald's barbecue, man. Don't give me that.
There's like a typical food from Texas that you miss the most. Something very typical from there.
Oh, there's a thing called kolaches. So it's like breakfast sausage. It's almost like a pig in a blanket, I think is another word for it. But it's a little different. So it's like little sausage, and then you take croissant rolls and wrap it around it.
Right.
And it usually has like cheese and jalapeno peppers and stuff like that in it.
Ooh. Right. Next question is, how would you like to be remembered in life?
I think the biggest thing, and I've been thinking about this lately because I'm actually writing a whole joke on it, is basically just the thing that I'd like to be remembered for is that I stood out, but in a good way. So, I always believe that you should question everything. Like, why is this happening? What is the immediate result, but what is your secondary and tertiary results of what's about to happen? A lot of people look at things like what's right in front of their face, and they don't look at what's going to happen behind it. So I would hope that that's an effect, and also just to, one of the other things that I try and tell people is, take people as an individual, not as a group. So, that's the biggest thing. So.
Cool. Let's go for the other one. Let's do it.
All right.
What's the best and the worst of living in New York?
The best thing is that once again, honestly, like it is the food. Like when everything's open, like you can get whatever kind of food you want up here. Like literally. Well, I mean, you still can't get good barbecue, but hey, you do what you gotta do, man. But everything else, because you can find something around there, you know, regardless of what it is you're looking for. I'd probably say the worst thing. Okay. No, sorry.
All right.
I got an email, so it's fine. But I'd say the worst thing is just trying to get over all the stereotypes people have in their head up here. So especially being from the South, and being a white straight male, like as soon as people start talking to me, like all these misconceptions start rolling through their head, and you have to fight through it. And I'm sure the same thing happens with other people. I just kind of notice it really quick.
What do you think that like people they have this approach, like what do you think that's like happening in New York?
I mean, it's not just New York, but I think the biggest thing is it's like any other kind of misconception you have. If you haven't interacted with those type of people, all you're going to think about is what you're told by the media, what you see in movies, what you read about, and what your friends tell you. You know, and that's where like I was saying like earlier, that's why I try and tell people constantly, like, look at the individual, don't look at the group. So
yeah, totally agree. Next question. What's the best gift have you ever received, and who gave this gift for you?
Best gift I ever got, I'd probably say for something somebody bought for me. When I retired from the Army, the soldiers I had bought me Blue Label Johnny Walker, but it's they actually got my name put on the bottle.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's like a $450 bottle.
Oh wow!
And
you still have it?
I do, somewhere. I have like a little office. I think it's in there in like a drawer.
Okay, let's go for another one, James. Let's do it. How long have you been doing the stand-up comedy show? How long have you been doing that for?
Coming up on 6 years. So just
yep.
I started getting serious about it about 4 years ago, though. So before that, it was just kind of something to show up and, you know, like, oh, I'll just talk about whatever. I'm not writing jokes. And then something just kind of clicked. And I really liked it. And I was like, oh, how do I get better at this? So.
Actually, I've been to New York, I think 3 years ago for the first time. And my best friend, we went for a stand-up comedy show. I don't remember what was the place, but it was the first time. It was quite cool. I just was wondering, my God, how, I mean, so the jokes, when you do the jokes over there, it's all planned or like to just go with the flow? How does it work when you plan like a show?
I think that depends on the comic. So, I mean, it's the same thing. Like we were talking about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like you have a plan, but you also have to react to what the audience does. Because just because you're like, oh, like I'm going to do this set of jokes, you know, like, excuse me, like I tell a lot of really dark comedy and it's about me. But if I know, like, if I'm starting into it and the crowd's just not catching up with me, or they're like, you know what, I don't want to go this deep tonight. I'm here just, you know, surface level. It's like, okay, well now I have to get out of that and now you have to go somewhere else.
I see.
Yeah, so that way, you know, because I always look at it like you know, ultimately you're there to entertain the audience. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where the difference is. And like I said, you know, it's you know, sometimes you get up there and you're like, oh, I have the best set I'm gonna do, and then you get up there and the audience is like, no, we don't want to do that.
I see.
But I also write in like audience kind of participation stuff into my jokes. Like I'll ask them a question as part of the joke, and it doesn't matter what they say. I could care less, but because the joke's going to move forward. But now it looks to the audience like everything's spur of the moment. Everything's, you know, oh, I'm thinking of this off the top of my head.
I see.
So
Cool.
Yep.
Let's get another question. What makes you the happiest?
Oh, the thing that makes me the happiest, honestly, is I like going out in the woods, going like hiking and walking, running, whatever, with nature. So I really like that. So
Ooh, let's go for another question, James. Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, do you remember the most memorable audience you ever had, like on a stand-up show? Something like was memorable, some like situation or something that's
you talking about good or bad?
either way. That's your kind of.
I was gonna say I was like you remember both. I'd say the I mean, anytime you get to go up is fun, but the best audience I've had that wasn't, you know, like people I knew, like honestly, just a straight, you know, you can get, like, I didn't know anybody. And so it was a complete, you know, coin flip if it was going to work. Okay. I got to go do a show. So do you know what fracking is? Fracking. So it's a type of mining for natural gas.
Okay.
So in Pennsylvania, in Western Pennsylvania, they do that. And we got to go put on a show for these group of miners and their families. And like I said, I've never been around them. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I think I ended up doing 25 minutes and just, they loved it. And, you know, I finished it, completely killed the room, loved it. Finished it, and when we finished the show, you would have thought like we were like Kevin Hart and all that. They're like, oh, can we get pictures with you guys? And I'm like, for me? Like, why? I'm nobody. The worst audience I've ever had, I did a Halloween show. Matter of fact, the anniversary of this from 2 years ago just passed. Did a guy's Halloween party at his house, and we were not the ones that should have been hired. Like they were very, very, like, you know, social justice warrior, woke, PC people. I'm not at all. And it was very much from the beginning when we showed up, I was like, oh, this is not going to go well. And it didn't. We all just kind of, it was dead silence except for one point where a buddy of mine made a mistake. God. And he thought a guy was a girl, and he was like, oh, that's, oh yeah, like you couldn't tell sometimes. And he was like, oh, that's so nice, you know, that's cool. We have a lesbian couple here. And the guy was like, I'm a guy.
My God. And
I was like, that's the icing on the cake right there, man. Like this, just. Oh my
goodness. So yeah. How long was the show for?
Oh, we did an hour altogether. So, and we had to do it to get paid. So.
Oh dear. Right. Next question is, James. What's the silliest thing have you ever posted online?
The silliest thing I've ever posted online. So I used to have 2 dogs. One of them unfortunately passed away, and the other one, because of comedy, I wasn't able to keep. So now a friend of mine has her. But we used to go, when I lived in Arizona, there's a mountain up there. And the dumbest thing I ever did, I was bored on a hike one day, and I just started running the video, and I did like this, like a crocodile hunter type thing with the dogs. I was like, crikey, look at this. I met 2 wild animals out in the dark, and and posted it, and it got a lot of likes, but I was like, that's just not, I don't do that kind of stuff. So.
'Right, James, I've got 3 questions left for you, okay?
Go ahead.
Let's do it. Let's get done. Once I was watching an interview, a Brazilian interview with a Brazilian comedian, and he was saying that he said that not every actor can be a comedian, but every comedian can be an actor. Do you believe in that?
I don't think so. I think those, I've been around theater, so those are completely different skill sets. So,
Okay.
and the reason I say that is because there's some comics that cannot improv whatsoever. They can't riff.
Okay.
If it's not written down, if you don't, if they don't know exactly what they're going to do, they're not going to do it. And on the other hand, you have some comics that can completely just kind of go with the flow, and they're not able to work off of a script or something like that. So I wouldn't agree with that. I think those are completely different aspects, because in comedy, we get to decide the voice and we get to decide the character that you're going to see.
Right.
They may not be able to deal with the fact of somebody else going, hey, this is who you are now. You don't really get a whole lot of say-so in it. So
I see. Cool. Next question is, if you could go back in time in one moment in your life, what that would be and why?
am I changing it or just living through it?
No, just living through it, just to have the nice feeling again.
I'd probably say I remember, what was this, 2000? Yeah, in 2000, it was me, my dad, and two of my brothers. We went down to South Carolina and just went fishing for like an entire week, and just had a lot of fun. Caught a lot of fish, and just everybody just kind of hanging out. So
cool. It never happened before. It never happened after that. You never had the chance to do it again.
No, well, because after that I was already in the military, and then September 11th happened, and yeah, so I stayed really busy for a while, and then everybody else just kind of they got families, and so.
Ooh, 2 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, James, what do you miss the most about the military life?
The camaraderie. So the fact that no matter where you were moving to, you had somebody there that you could relate to instantly.
Oh wow.
So and that you knew, like, okay, I'm gonna show up here, I already have like almost like a ready-made family type thing.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
I'm afraid to answer that question now. No, just because of everything that happened this year. I'd probably say in 5 years, my goals anyways, or that I have up, is I want to be on one of the late night TV shows.
Cool.
So like not hosting it, but have performed on it. I hope to have at least a 30-minute special out by then.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure. I have no doubt.
The only other thing is, and that's for like my comedy, but for my production company, is I'm hoping to get at least one of the shows that we're doing signed for some kind of deal. So
Let's see. Cool. Fingers crossed.
Yay!
Right, next question. Let's do it. Before the last question, I must say something to you, James. When I invited you over the show, and after I was checking out your profile properly, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? I actually was intimidated in the beginning, because I thought, oh my God, he got experience. He's a stand-up comedy show. My God, I've just started now. I even don't know how to talk properly to the camera. I'm just starting out. It's like, oh my God, what have I done? But you made me relax now. But in the beginning, to be honest, I was even talking to your friends this morning. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to have now a show with someone like who got experience. And when you told me that I have a production company, I was like, I'm done now. I'm done now.
Nah, man. Everybody starts out. That's one of the things that I don't tolerate very much in my inner circle, is I don't let people treat someone like crap because they're new. I mean,
see.
we'll joke around with them. We'll be like, "Oh, it's an open
Of
mic or
course.
stuff. Go away." But no, you have to. Everybody started out,
Somehow.
with their first step. So
Absolutely, but yeah, but also like, oh my goodness, I think it's that because I think I got a bit messed up in the news before because I was very nervous, like organizations. But anyway, you just I'm relaxed now. But in the beginning, I was a bit intimidated, let's say. Last question. Good one. Which question you wouldn't have an answer for?
which one of my tattoos means the most to me? So I have 13 tattoos, and they're all like, none of them are just like a dolphin in a breeze. Like, they're all very intimate to me. So
Right. Cool. When was the last one that you had it?
the last one I got done was this one. Yeah, this one I got. Sorry. Okay. So that one.
Okay. What that means?
Oh, it's Latin, and it says, "I fear my government when they bring me gifts." So,
Okay.
it's my personal philosophy that anytime that the government wants to hand you something for free, there's something behind it. That's where I was talking about, like, the secondary, tertiary result from what you do. Yeah, it was that one. I think I got that in. Wow, when did I get this one? 2014 was the last one I got. Yeah.
Cool. Right, James, not the end yet. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one thing that comes to your mind, okay? Quick thinking.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with family.
Family, spread out.
Okay, love.
Love, caring.
Money.
Overrated.
Sex.
So, wanting.
Okay. Politics.
Misunderstood.
Religion.
Personal.
Life.
Joyous.
Fear.
Overcome.
Friendship.
Always searching.
Desire.
Needed.
Regrets.
Get rid of them.
Okay. Wish.
Write it down.
Good one. Comedy. The last one. Comedy.
Just make people laugh.
Great. Okay, James, let's play now. James in the Magic Box. You can ask me a question, okay? But right, you can ask me a question now, James.
Okay. Well, okay. Here's a question for you. So, if there is a God and you go to heaven, what's the first thing you want to hear him or her say to you whenever you get there?
Wow, very good question. Wow. You did well down there.
Okay.
I just hope. It just came from my mind now. I don't know why. You did well down there, let's say.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Did you enjoy, James? Did you have a good time?
Oh yeah, no, this is fun, man. So like, I like these things where where you get to think on the spot. So
it's funny you say that because I had one of my first guests on the show was a Canadian girl, and she sent me a feedback video. I think it's on my website. I don't know if you look it up, but there is one feedback, and she mentioned the same thing as well. She said that it's good when you are like having like a like this kind of question interaction, and you need to answer, and you kind of don't have too much time to think about it. And it just made me remember that. Yeah, thanks so much, James, for your time. Thanks for sharing this experience with me. As I told you before, I was a bit intimidated, a bit nervous in the beginning after I saw your profile. But as I said to you, it made me feel comfortable, and I had good fun. Just before you go, if you can share a positive quote or a positive message, something that inspires your life.
Yeah, so I have a quote, and a friend of mine did a painting based off of this quote because it's real personal to me. But it says, "Normality is the playground for the unimaginative."
Good. I like that.
And it's one of my favorite quotes. I tell people, I'm like, if anybody says you're normal, then you're boring. Go away. Cool. So
And it's nice to be different, isn't it? It's good to be different. I think it's a gift when we're different out there, I think. Right, James, thanks so much. Thanks for your time. Okay, all the best. And we keep in touch. And
Okay, thanks, William.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye. All the best.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.